So there's currently what would be considered a controversy going on in Indiana related to a law that was passed granting religious freedoms when it comes to businesses. Uh, Essentially saying that if your religious beliefs contradict with what a potential client or customer, whatever you want to call it, uh, whatever their beliefs are, what they're looking for, if it conflicts with your religious beliefs, then you can say, well, I'm not going to provide you services. Now, this is not a new law. As a matter of fact, Bill Clinton back in the 90s uh, signed an act granting religious freedom. You can probably look that up on YouTube. Also, there's 19 other states, Texas included, the state that I'm from, that actually has a law like this. So what makes this a hot topic is, in Indiana's case, there is a large movement against this law by the gay and lesbian community, feeling that they are going to be discriminated against. And I understand where they're coming from, especially when, admittedly, there are about 80% Christians by some studies, anywhere between 65 and 80% Christians in the United States. Now, how many of them are traditional Christians, fundamental Christians, meaning, sort of old school Christians that are what you would consider Bible thumping Christians? How many of that percentage are those people? I don't know. Christian's almost a very loose term nowadays. But sticking to the topic of religious freedoms and being able to decline offering services to people, I was talking to my family the other night about this because, to start, on my perspective, my original thought is, yes, it is right to allow people to choose who they want to provide services to. I don't necessarily think it's smart to decline services to people, regardless of their, culture, their ethnicity, their cultural raising, their, sexual orientation, which I don't get any of why you would turn down a customer. If you don't want to work with the large general public, then you should just work within your community and sort of be an independent, sort of work within your clique of people around you. Of course, that's no way to make business, to be a successful business person. It's no way to grow and to build an empire, so to speak. But if that's what you want to do, is to not work with anyone who's outside of your philosophies on life, then, don't work with the general public. So anyways, I was talking to my family about this, and they said, or my brother, who's very well read when it comes to the Bible and other things, said he and my mother both agreed that it is wrong to have the Religious Freedoms Act, because it's basically saying that you can discriminate. And if you start by saying, okay, well, we're not going to provide services to the gay and lesbian community, what's stopping it from ultimately becoming, well, we're not going to serve anybody unless they're Christian? And I saw their point on this, where I take issue with eliminating the religious freedoms law anywhere is, let's say that you're saying, okay, I don't want to provide services to gay and lesbians. Okay. If you take away the right for someone to say, I don't want to do that, and you say you have to serve everyone, what happens if someone comes in and says, okay, my religion, which people make up religions all the time. You don't have to have, there is a dudism religion for people who follow the Big Lebowski. Not even joking. Go look it up. It exists. It's an actual church called the Church of Dudism. So what if someone comes up with a church that's called I Hate Black People, or Black People Gone Church, or Latino People Gone Church, or White People Gone Church, or, any almost genocidal perspective on things, or ethnicity-cidal, for lack of a better word right now, perspective. And they say, okay, I want you, and you're a baker, for example, and they say, okay, I want you to make me a cake that has a black person on the cross, or has a white person being beheaded, or whatever. If you do not have the right to say, I don't want to do business with you because that's disgusting, that is evil, then you have to do it. And there may be a backlash in the media saying, well, these people made a cake for these people. But if you have no choice, then you have to do it. So do you really want to have, or to limit a company's ability to participate, or an individual or a large company's ability to participate in things that they may find morally questionable? So it's because the matter of homosexuality is a morality question. It may not be something I find immoral or that you find immoral, but there are people who do find it immoral. Just like I find the idea of burning people of any color on a cross, or burning anyone on a cross, or, assaulting people or throwing hateful terms at people. That's a morality issue, but for some people, it's not a morality. That they find it moral because they think they are a superior form of humanity in some way. The sad reality is that as much as we would love to think of everybody as equals across the board, not just from an ethnicity or a cultural standpoint, but also from a financial standpoint, people just don't see it that way. So it's a really shaky sort of fence that we're on when it comes to this particular law and just the conversation in general. If you limit someone's ability to choose who they're going to provide services to, if you eliminate their ability to decide that, then they have to serve everybody. And you cannot then complain if they provide service to a company or an organization that promotes hatred. And that's it's a really delicate balance when it comes to that. Because who is to decide what's moral? Who is to decide what is right? If you give the government that power, then you no longer have freedom. You lose liberty. And that is what our country was established on, was the concept of liberty. It wasn't established on Christianity, which I actually learned more about recently. It was established on liberty. A lot of the founding fathers were not even actually Christians by nature. They were secular, or they were deity, or deists, which meaning, secular meaning they didn't believe in a God, or deists meaning that they believed there was a God who created existence and then said, have at it, and gave man dominion over the earth. Or mankind, womankind, mankind, dominion over the earth. And only one person was an actual Baptist, and that was Thomas Jefferson. So we are founded by a group of individuals that said we want to avoid religious persecution, and we don't want the government telling us how we have to live our lives. We want freedom to choose. So consider it when you're deciding on which side of the fence you're on, because you can't have it both ways. You can't say they should have to serve people who are of an ethnicity that they may not like, or a orientation they might like, or a cultural perspective that they might like, or a religion they may not like. Do you really want to limit someone's ability to choose? Blessings to all.